This is the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for Monday, December the 11th. I'm Michael Groff. Dry weather with above average temperatures should continue for most of the upcoming week into the weekend. In fact, likely for the next 7 to 10 days. But might we see a pattern change way out there toward the end of next week? And since we're just 2 weeks away from Christmas, why not take a sneak peek at the Christmas forecast as well? We'll do all of that. As we get out there this morning and talk about it, the almanac from yesterday, 78 degrees, the high in the valley, after a record warm tying low temperature of 60 degrees. Yes, very warm days continue around here. Speaking of that, outside right now under mostly cloudy skies here at the ridiculous hour of 5 a.m., we've got 61 degrees at Sky Harbor, the dew point at 14. Wow, relative humidity 16%. The winds are light and the barometer 30.20 inches and steady. Temperatures across south central Arizona this morning, mid-50s to low 60s, depending on where you are. Some of the normal cool spots are actually the warm spots this morning, so the temperature map looks a little bit upside down. Speaking of temperatures, let's look at some around the nation this morning, and you can see the real cold air is up in the northern Great Lakes and across parts of Ontario and Quebec. But it's pretty frigid all the way down to the Gulf Coast with temperatures in the upper 20s at places like Pensacola and Tallahassee, 33 at Jacksonville. It's 46 in Tampa Bay, 43 in Fort Myers. So the cold air is down to the Gulf Coast. Out here in the west, there are some cold temperatures in the mountains, but it's pretty mild out here for most of us. The water vapor satellite view tells you why. We've got a ridge out here in the west and a trough continues in the east. Another little short wave moving through the northern plains today. And we have a little cutoff low looming around the southwest, and that's been responsible for our high clouds the last few days. And on the watch warning map, some wind advisories up in the northern plains states and fire danger concerns, red flag warnings out through the Corn Belt. We have freeze warnings down in the southeast along the Gulf Coast and some of those areas I mentioned before. And air stagnation and freezing fog advisories in the Pacific Northwest, with the continued red flag warnings and fire danger concerns in Southern California, where the wildfires continue to burn out of control. On the convective outlook, most of the nation in stable air, so no organized areas of severe weather and really no thunderstorm areas expected today. And rainfall for the next 7 days. And once again, I show the national map because much of the west is going to be dry. Now, up in the Pacific Northwest later this week, they are expecting some rain. But here in the southwest and even into the central plains, dry as can be. This is valid through next Monday morning. And speaking of dry, let's look at the drought monitor here for Arizona. I haven't looked at this in a couple of weeks. And now almost the entire state, 97% of the state is now in a moderate drought or greater. And you see the severe drought continues in far southern Arizona down in parts of Santa Cruz and Pima County. So the drought is worsening and no sign of that going away anytime soon. We'll check that out as we go to the models right now. Here's the GFS. This is the 06Z run, valid at 5 o'clock Mountain Standard Time today. The upper look at 18,000 feet. Ridge in the west, trough in the Great Lakes and in the east. So below average temperatures there, above average temperatures out here. And our little cutoff low to the south. And that will have only minor implications on our weather. Clouds around this morning. We'll start to see a decreasing trend in clouds through the day today. Call it partly sunny with highs in the mid and upper 70s and occasional breezes out of the east. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, lows a bit cooler. We should be down in the 40s to low 50s in most spots with this very dry air mass continuing. And then tomorrow, other than a few high clouds, should be mostly sunny with highs again in the mid to upper 70s. Pretty much the same thing on Wednesday, mid-70s with mostly sunny skies. That goes for Thursday and Friday as the ridge slowly begins to flatten out just a bit, but it's still going to lurk around the southwest, just not going to be as high amplitude a pattern as we've been seeing. Highs may back off a degree or two, but we're still going to say low to mid-70s with mostly sunny skies. Saturday, we've got a trough coming into the Pacific Northwest, and that should begin to pass north of Arizona this weekend and might lower temperatures just a little bit. But overall, I still think we're going to stay above average. Highs about 70 to 73 both Saturday and Sunday. And then here's a week from today. This is Monday, the 18th of December, a mainly zonal flow. And high temperatures still a little bit above average. You see the heights are still up there. So highs likely low 70s. Same thing on Tuesday, the 19th. And then here's the end of the 10-day forecast period. This is Wednesday, the 20th. See a nice trough developing along the west coast. We've seen this advertised for a couple of runs now, so we're starting to see a bit of a pattern flip with ridging slowly building in the central plains and in the east. And let's just keep on going. Why not? Here is Friday night. This is Friday, the 22nd of December. Now, this is way out here in no man's land, so I'm going to give you that disclaimer, that usual precaution here before we get too wild on this. But you do see a very sharp trough now developing out here in the west. It looks pretty cold. And if this happens to be right, and there is not a whole lot of confidence that it is, but if it happens to verify, we'd have some rain around here through much of the Southwest, Southern California, Nevada, Arizona. But we have been teased by the models plenty. But there is some degree of agreement that we will see a pattern change coming in here late next week, which I'll show you in a minute. And let's just keep going way out here further. This is 348 hours into the future. Christmas morning, Monday the 25th. Big cold trough out here in the west and in the central plains, and ridging building off the west coast and across the northeast Pacific. And still some unsettled weather here in the southwest if that verifies, and it would be a nice cool Christmas. We'd have highs below average, probably in the upper 50s or low 60s. This is kind of similar to what we saw last Christmas around here. A big storm come through Christmas Eve, and then a nice cool Christmas Day. Not saying that's what's going to happen this year, but of course there's a possibility. And then this is the GFS Ensemble, the QPF output. There's 21 members here, and you see more than half of the members are trying to put some precipitation into the mix around here late next week, the following weekend, and out toward Christmas. So the ensemble, at least, looks like it's trending toward a pattern change. But will that actually materialize? It's very hard to say, but it's something to look for, at least. Speaking of the ensemble, let's check the temperatures coming off the GFS Ensemble through the period. It's got us at 79 tomorrow. I'm not sure it's going to get quite that warm, but of course, we've been surprised a couple of times, so we'll keep that as a possibility. Otherwise, temperatures to remain above average for at least the next week to possibly 10 days, and then we might start to cool it off as we head out there toward the winter solstice and Christmas, but that still remains to be seen. And that, folks, is going to wrap it up for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video is going to come back here tomorrow morning. And if you like our videos, well, first of all, you can click like. And you can also subscribe to us so that whenever we post a brand new one, you'll get the notifications. Otherwise, be safe out there and have a great Monday.